Ladies and gentlemen, start clapping your hands right now for the host of RBTC Live, Coach Rodrigo! Whoa! Yo! Oh, man. All right, crowd noise. All right, this is how, when I leave my house, this is what it's like. It's like, all right, everybody calm down. Damn, just going to check my mail. Just going to take out the trash. All right, I get it. Everybody relax. Calm down. Welcome to Runningback Training Camp Daily Live. Happy New Year. It's fucking almost February. But I'm back. We're back. You know how it is. We're here, we're there, we're all for it, we're on. We're getting corona, all kinds of wild shit. It's been a crazy 2 years. Whatever, man. Back to work, back to the business, back to the grind. The ebook is still available if you'd like to cop the ebook. Also, if you get the ebook, 10 training tips for running backs. I'll also throw in a special Corona RBTC mask. You'll get the mask too, okay? With the logo on it, the running man on it. $9 for the RBTC training guide on the live. So just DM me, okay? So let's see. Wow, we got some participants. I guess everyone's home because everyone's talking tonight. Where's my copy as your coach? Oh, I got you, K-Mine. I got you. Shout out to my man, K-Mine. Corey Miner in the house, my old teammate from Notre Dame. Former Notre Dame linebacker, NFL linebacker. That's my dude. I got you, K-Mine. And what do I think about Marcus Freeman, head coach of Notre Dame now? I have no idea. I guess I'll find out when this... You know what? This is what I think. This is what I think about Marcus Freeman and being the head coach of Notre Dame. I can't tell you right now it's January, right? I can't tell you after 1 year either. It takes time to develop a program. It takes time to, as a head coach, like Brian Kelly was there 10 years and did some remarkable things in 10 years, but he was allowed that time to, he was allotted that time to have his ups and downs, and he had more ups than he did downs. It seems like, now, this is what it seems like to me. It seems like if you're a black head coach, you don't have that much time. You gotta win now. You gotta win every game the second you're hired. That's what it seems like, because they just fired the guy from the Dolphins, Brian Flores, who I played against in college, by the way. Got knocked out against us. He was at Boston College, linebacker. I don't know what happened. He just told me when I talked to him a few years ago. But Tyrone Willingham was another black head coach at Notre Dame, and they give you like one or two games, a little shot out there. They're like, oh yeah, you got a shot, okay, and then you don't, if you're not like national champion, you're like, hey, you're out of there. So that's what I think about Marcus Freeman. Let's give him a shot. Let's give him some time to develop. It's a lot of pressure at that top level. A lot of pressure to win. And Notre Dame, they're not getting the athletes that in Alabama's getting. They're getting smarter guys, they're getting guys with better grades, but they're not getting the athlete that has everything on the line to play football. The Notre Dame guys are like, well, I'm still smart. I have my education. I can still do that. And I'm not saying that Alabama doesn't have that. I'm just saying that because I went to Notre Dame and I know those guys, and a lot of those guys were like, well, if I don't make it to the NFL, well, I'll do this and I'll have this business and I'll do that. And that's how everyone should think. But like a lot, you know what? One of the points I want to make on this live tonight is about time. It's about you have X amount of time to do stuff. So especially as a football player, especially as your career, you only have X amount of time. So like, right now, if like a high school kid, for example, who is watching the NFL, watching these guys play, like excuse me. If you watch the games over the weekend, shout out to my man K'Wan Williams, had a couple of picks For the 49ers, St. Joe's guy. Time is everything, especially like if you're trying to get to this level and then stay at this level. You only have X amount of time to really focus in on that, because once that time is gone, it's gone. You know, even if you get to the NFL, you only have X amount of time to make X amount of dollars, and then you're out. So like you had as a young person, as a young kid, like that aspires to play professional football, which most kids do. Most kids that play football, if I go to a youth football practice and say, who wants to play football, who wants to go to the NFL, they'll all raise their hand. Everybody, the whole team will be like, we all want to go to the NFL. But not maybe one of them is willing to put in the work and actually get there. The rest of them will go to the NFL in Madden. They'll just go. That's their NFL right there. That's most of them. 99% of them. 1% of them is willing to put in the work. So it's very important that you guys understand timing. You know, in high school, you only have 4 years to develop into that D1 player that you want to be. Even if you don't go D1, that's okay. That's okay, man. You don't have to. You can still get to the league, you know, with other direction, other options. But like, let me think about this for a second. Let me think about the difference between D1 versus other schools. Because here's why I say this. Because we live in a different climate. We live in a different time. What's up, my peoples? Everyone that's saying what's up. What's up, Shanae? What's up? What's up, Lady Boss? What's up, y'all? What's up, K Fit? Okay, so this is a different landscape from any other time in history, right? You have this movement moving towards HBCU schools, right? And this all happened within the last 2 years. When George Floyd got murdered in front of everybody, I think the whole world and a lot of people, especially in this country, were like, you know what? Especially as college players, and how over the years the schools are making millions, billions of dollars, and we have a free education. It's not, I put that in quotes because we still have a job, and our job is to play football. They just say, oh, you're a student athlete first. Oh, that's because you have to pass your class before you can play football. But guess what? The national championship that was played on Monday night, they don't give a fuck that the kids were playing Monday night and they got to take a test on Tuesday. They don't give a shit about that. Maybe they give the guys a break because it's Alabama. Maybe they do that. But just in general, generally speaking, you know, the academic kids are paying to go to school, and the athletic kids are broadcast around the world and are profited off of, right? So now, after George Floyd, there's been a movement to go to HBCU schools, historic black college universities. That's what HBU stands for. So here's my thing. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, if I was coming out of high school now, which I don't know how I would do that, I would have had to give birth to myself because my son's out of high school. So I would have had to give birth to myself. But if I did that, I would visit Notre Dame, I'd visit Oregon, Miami, USC, but I'd probably go to Jackson State. Probably. Most likely, I'd go to Jackson State. Why? For one reason. One name. Prime time. I go there to play for Deion Sanders. Why? Why would I do that? Well, you know, in college recruiting, the coaches normally come to your house. You know, you sit down, you get to know them, you get to build a relationship, right? If I got to build a relationship with Deion Sanders, first of all, if he saw my film and he was interested and he took the time to call me and come to my house and offer me a scholarship, and he knows he's competing against Notre Dame and Oregon. Basically, he's just competing against Notre Dame's uniforms and Oregon's uniforms. It's really all it is. It's all about the uniforms. But he knows he's competing against bigger schools, but he is the GOAT at his position. He's one of the greatest to ever play. So if he comes knocking I know, okay, if Dion came knocking, if I get out there and I earn his respect, I get out there and practice, I earn his respect, I get out there in games and I ball, now I got Dion backing me. So I don't need to go to Notre Dame or Alabama. All Dion has to do is call up any team in the NFL and be like, I got this dude, he's a beast. That's pretty much all he has to say. I got one guy. He's you might want to take him. Done. That's all that has to happen. So, and I also think that with this now, here's what I mean. He just signed the biggest recruit in the country this year. That's right. He has connects. That's right. He's fucking prime time. He's the best to ever play cornerback. The quarterbacks wouldn't even throw to his side of the field. That's how good he was. They look over there like, oh no, Dion's over there, and throw somewhere else. That's how good he was. So not only has he done it as a player, plus I'd pick his brain. Plus, if we have that kind of relationship, I want to know about every running back he's played against. I want to know about Emmitt Smith. I want to know about Barry Sanders. That's who I really want to know about. If I get Barry on this show, I might not be able to talk, but I want to get Barry and Emmitt on this show. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, I want to know about all the running backs he played against. I want to absorb his knowledge of being great. He played against Jerry Rice, played against all the greats from the late 80s to the 90s and 2000s. Played for a long time. Everybody knows him. He's turned the program around. I would 100% go to Jackson State if I was coming out of high school right now. Period. Fuck all the D1 schools. I'm going there because I'm good. I go there, I do well, fine. Now, Notre Dame looks attractive, right? Notre Dame will look attractive. You got Marcus Freeman as the coach. I don't know him. I don't know him at all. All I know is he's black. I'm like, okay, Notre Dame's got a black coach. He looks cool. Maybe I'll go there. Then you also have the only thing about Oregon, the only thing I like about Oregon is their uniforms. That's it. I don't care. I don't know anything else about the school because Oregon wasn't anything back in the day. But once they started doing that crazy shit with the uniforms, that changed the landscape of all of college football. You guys understand that? When I played, I don't want to make this a show like, back in my day, I used to only have 2 uniforms. I don't want to make this that show. But back in the day, there was only 2 uniforms. You had a home and away jersey. That's it. That's all you had. White jersey for away, whatever the color of your team jersey was for home. That's it. Now, Oregon started with all these crazy uniforms, crazy colors, all kinds of different helmets and combinations and stuff. So now, for the other schools to compete, they got to have all kinds of crazy uniforms. West Virginia, when I was there, I used to be like, why can't we have blue pants? Why can't we just, they'd be like, oh, we wore blue pants once and we lost, so we'll never wear blue pants again. You had that kind of old man thinking, like, oh, we did that one, we tried it, and it didn't work. It didn't work. The fucking pants didn't work? What the fuck do you mean? What, the pants supposed to make you win? It didn't work, so we stopped and never did it again. The fuck is that, man? It's not a... I've already ranted about this. Before, but it really broke my heart to have to wear gray gloves in college football. That was bullshit. See, that's what I mean. Like, some of these rules are bullshit. Oh, we can see the holding better. No, you can't, because now look at everyone's got all kinds of colored gloves. So what was the point of that? What was the point of that time frame? I feel like Trump. What was the point of that time frame that we had to wear gray gloves? And why am I doing this? The point of that was like, it was useless. It was pointless because it didn't really mean anything. You didn't see any holding better, and then they just went back to wearing all these colored gloves anyway. Oh, man. So, timing is everything. You have X amount of time you have X amount of time in life. Let's just put it that way. Let's make a broader picture of it. You have X amount of time. Fucking Bob Saget just died, 65, after he posted this post of like, he's gonna go on tour and get back into comedy and all this other stuff, and like, boom, gone. You know? So you got X amount of time. So some of you young guys I keep preaching the same thing. That's what preachers do. You preach. Yo, you got X amount of time to get yourself to that level. You gotta. Here's a couple different things. You need to have a plan, right? And then you need to be able to adapt, improvise, and overcome when the plan doesn't work. Okay, so you need to have both sides of your brain working, not just left brain, which is making the plan, but you have to be able to. There's going to be some obstacles that come out. First of all, football is full of obstacles, so you're naturally always having to improvise, right? If they do that, you do this. If you do this, they do that. So it's always this changing, shifting of energy and scheme. So you got to be flexible in that way. But also, like, if you guys, okay, I just watched Micah Parsons on the Pivot Show, right? Some of those guys from I Am Athlete, Fred Taylor and Channing Crowder, were on I Am Athlete, that podcast with the old NFL players that get on there and talk. Very, very, very valuable stuff. Very valuable stuff. If you're a young guy, even if you're my age, I Am Athlete, which is Chad Johnson and what's his name, Brandon Marshall, those guys. And then the Pivot is with Fred Taylor and Ryan Clark, and they had Micah Parsons on the Pivot, right? So these old NFL guys, you know, guys my age and older, are impressed with Micah Parsons, as they should be, because first of all, the guy ran a 4.340 as a fucking line. He's 240. He's 247 pounds, and he ran a 4.3 at his pro day. Do we need to see the video? I mean, is there anything else? I'm watching the game right now. The game's on NFL Network right now. Do we need to see any more? Do I need to say how fast these guys are anymore? Because here is the thing. If you're not on track, if you're not on pace to be keeping up with the competition, you're going to get smoked. What do I mean by that? I mean, if you plan on going to the NFL, you need to be a forward thinker. You need to be thinking like real 4.3, not hand time. Okay, funny. Finally, we agree on a 40 time. But listen, I was going to call you, by the way, but listen, if you're not on path, see, this is what I mean, being a forward thinker, because young people can't project into the future, right? That part of your brain hasn't developed yet. So here's the thing. Check this out. If you just look, you have to be a student of the game if you're going to get to that level, because all you do when you get to that level is study, right? If you're going to be successful and stay there, you got to study. You got to be somewhat intelligent, somewhat smart. At least, at the very least, have football intelligence. But here's the thing. If you look at the combines, and I don't know why you wouldn't watch the combine, but a lot of you fucking dumbass kids don't watch the combines. If you watch the combines, the past few years, there has been at least one linebacker that is over 230 pounds that is running under a 4.4. I think I need to say that again because some of you fucking idiots didn't hear that. There are, in the past 3 years, there's been at least one defensive big person. You understand what I'm saying by big person? As a running back, we're generally not the biggest people on the field, but we are generally the faster people on the field. Not everyone. I ran 4.3, but I wasn't over 200 pounds. There are guys that are over 240 pounds running just as fast as I am. I ran track. I started running track in the 7th grade. 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. 6 years before I got to college. I ran track. I was ineligible my first year because I redshirted. I was ineligible my second year because I transferred, which now they make that transfer rule okay, so I should get another year back. But anyway, I ran 3 years in college. So that adds up to about 10 years of running track in order to get to that, to be running consistent 4.3, 4.2, okay? And hand time, you could say hand time, we'll go with that. But whatever, 4.2 is still 4.2. I'm still one of the faster guys on the field. But again, I was on a path to get to that speed because I knew, like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. I used to read this book. I used to read the Emmett Zone, right? So I used to read about the players I wanted to be like, right? So when I read about Emmitt Smith, I see, oh, he started as a freshman in high school. Oh, he's got the record for rushing yards in high school. So now I said, when I get to high school, I say, okay, I gotta start as a freshman. Now, if you look at the records in Florida where he's from, Derrick Henry smashed those, smashed them. He's got the most rushing yards of all time in Florida. And Derrick Henry ain't slow, and he's not small. He runs away from defensive backs all the time. So that should tell you, well, okay, you should study the people that came before you so you know what they did and you're aware of what other people are looking for. So you know what else I would do? And since I have my whole library organized now, I don't have to go crazy looking for shit. I can just pick up a media guide from 1972 or 1997 or whatever the fuck. But anyway, my point is this. Here we go. Here's an old media guide. Here's 1990 Notre Dame media guide, just chilling on the shelf, right? So I would go through here, and then I would look at the running backs, right? Especially the incoming freshmen. I'd see the incoming freshmen. Now you guys don't have to use books. You can go online. You can do this. But I go on here. I look at the incoming freshmen, and I look at, okay, what they do in high school. I say, okay, what was their size? Sometimes they list their track times. Oh, he's a state champion in track. Ran at 10:43 in the 100. He did this. And I'd be like, oh, okay, all right, got it. Now I know. Okay, now I know what this guy did. Now I know what that guy did. Now I know. Okay, so now I'd have a little list. And I say, okay, by the time I'm a freshman, I need to be running this time. By the time I'm a junior, I need to be running this time. I need to be starting on the football field. I need to be doing this. I need to be here by a certain time. That's what I knew. And that's what I'm telling you guys. You got to be, if you're not on path, you can just forget about it. Do something else. You can forget about football. Now, there's some freaks out there that, like, you know, there's some freaks that just, like, you know, there's no rhyme or reason for why they're as good as they are. It's like you'll meet. I mean, I've met guys that defy all kinds of logic on and as to why they're good at all. Like there's some people statistically that it shouldn't make sense that they're that good, yet they're that good, right? But that only goes so far. Your talent, your natural talent, will only take you so far. You need a strong work ethic base in order to take you to the next level and sustain that for a long period of time. But again, plan, forward thinking. You got to understand time. You know, you have X amount of time. And I just told you what I did. I ran track since 7th grade all the way through college. And even with all those years of running, 10 years of running, like competitively, like when I got to college, those dudes from Miami smoked me. Willis McGahee, Santana Moss, like fucking Phil Buchanan, Darryl Jones. Who else? They had another level of speed down there, and that's what I would consider NFL speed, because those guys all went to the NFL and they all are pretty much Hall of Famers. All of them, almost all of them. But what I'm saying is the speed is there, and what I'm telling you, this is what my point was that the defensive players are going to be faster the further we go into the future. Okay? So, just for example, let's say you're a freshman in high school right now. You know a freshman in high school right now, right? They got 4 years of high school. They got another 4 years of college, maybe 5. You're talking about 9 years, right? 9 years from today. In the year 2031, that draft, there will probably be at least 5 middle linebackers that run 4.3. Maybe a couple outside guys that also run 4.3. Maybe a couple defensive ends that run like 4-4-2, 4-4-0. Defensive ends. The defensive backs are always fast. But like now you're starting to see the bigger guys get faster. If you guys aren't on the path, if you guys aren't running track, you're just not gonna make it. That's all. I mean, fuck it. I'm not even gonna get mad anymore. You don't want to run? Fuck you. I don't care. I already played. I already ran track. I already know the benefits it's done for me. I know the benefits it's done for everybody I've coached. And if you don't want to listen, then that's fine. You know, another thing that Micah Parsons said in that interview on the pivot was he said that he had. Okay, listen to this. I could show the clip, but I want to just tell you guys real quick. The older guys, Fred Taylor, Ryan Clark, they were impressed with how forward thinking Micah Parsons is at 22 years old as a rookie. Because he told those guys, he was like, if I wanted to go to the Giants, but I really wanted to go to Dallas because of the taxes. And the older guys were like, how'd you know about taxes? How'd you even know about taxes? I didn't know about taxes when I got to the league. He's like, well, I took business classes in college, and I had mentors like LeVar Arrington. LeVar Arrington's my age. LeVar Arrington came out of high school the same year I did. I met LeVar Arrington at the All-American show, when we coming out of high school. So, like, LeVar's an older person, 20 years older, that can impart some wisdom onto a young person, and that young person is willing to listen and take his advice and listen from LeVar Arrington's mistakes and not make the same fucking mistakes. So that's the point of this live right now, is so I can keep reminding everyone, the same people over and over again, that running track, super important. These guys all ran track. I'm telling you, they all did. Even the big guys. You'd be surprised. If you look at the offense, I could do this right now, but I don't feel like it. I'm in this rant. I'm liking it right now. But look, if I wanted to do a 10-year challenge or even 20-year challenge, and I posted a picture of NFL linemen 20 years ago and posted it today, you see a major difference. They're probably not as heavy, but they're more athletic today. The offensive linemen are out in the field chopping defensive backs. They run sweeps, they run these screenplays, and they get these big ass offensive linemen out on the field. If you've ever played football, the defensive backs are the most athletic. They're quick, they're fast, they're super athletic. They're very hard to hit. Never mind get on the ground. But these big offensive linemen are out there running, and they're able to chop these guys down and get them on the ground. That's the difference. They didn't have those kinds of plays 20 years ago, right? If I did the same thing, if I did the defensive lineman, and I posted the defensive lineman from 20 years ago and them today, the interior guys are they're probably about 20 pounds lighter, but they're faster and they're stronger and they're more athletic. And the defensive ends, forget it. Defensive ends look like basketball players out here. These guys are tall, lean, and fast as hell. And they're only going to get taller, leaner, and faster. So the game's going to keep changing, and the game's going to keep getting faster. Now, either you're going to get faster along with the game, or you're left to play Madden. That's your option. Those are your options. Those two things, man. There's got to be a sense of urgency. There's got to be a sense of, you got to be like a little bit of afraid not to make it. You got to know, like, oh shit, time's running out and I'm not where I need to be. There needs to be a sense of like, oh shit, I need to fucking go work out or go run or go do some shit. You got to get fast. You got to get fast. The game is only getting faster. It's not going to slow down. Then everyone's not going to be like, all right, you know what? Let's slow this game down. It's too fast. No, it's only going to get faster. And the guys, there was no such thing as personal training. When I was a young person, there was no trainers. There was none of this. Bands, and I didn't even have a speed ladder till I got to college. There was no speed ladders. So like, 20 years from now, there's gonna be way more advanced stuff. All the guys that didn't listen to me, that didn't make it, they're gonna be like, hey man, should have listened to Coach Coop, should have ran track for 4 years, shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know who's in that movie? You know who's starring that movie? Shoulda, woulda, coulda? Me. Look it up on YouTube. Cooperigo. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Anyway, you guys see that fucking defensive lineman or linebacker get arrested running down the street naked? What's his name? Mackenzie, I think his name is. Running down, I don't even think he was running down the street naked. I think he was just naked walking down the street. When I saw that, I thought either he's drunk, but it was the daytime. So maybe he woke up drunk. And you know how sometimes, when you drink it all night, you wake up, you still kind of, maybe he woke up and he was still drunk and like it's the off season, like he's not playing anymore. So I think subconsciously he just wanted to be free. He just wanted to be like, he went to a daycare. Yeah, he must have been drunk or some shit. I don't know what happened. But that's kind of I don't think that's CTE. Everyone wants to run to judge CTE. Like Antonio Brown when he ran off the field. I don't think that's CTE. I don't think that's an example of CTE. I think that's an example of his coach saying, "Get the fuck out of here," and he's like, "Oh yeah, fuck me, fuck you," and then he did that. Like, I think all of us would really enjoy doing that one day. Like, you have enough money where you can just be like, your coach, your boss is like, "Fuck you," and you're like, "No, fuck you," and you just take off your shirt and leave. That may not be far from my future, and I don't know what kind of CTE I have. I haven't played as long as these guys have. But I've definitely had my fair share of getting my head knocked around and knocked on real AstroTurf. Not this shit these guys play on. Like real, almost like concrete. So it's probably some sort of damage. But one day, I'm just going to say this. One day, I might do it on this show. I might just take my shirt off and be like, fuck this show. And just run off. I might do that. Catch an Uber somewhere. Run track naked. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, I think anyone aspire. You know what? If someone said, "Why would you run track naked, Cooper?" and I say, "Well, I wanted to go to the NFL." He did it. Why can't I? It seems to work. I don't know, man. I think that was you got to be on drugs to do some shit like that. You gotta be on something to be doing that shit, running around naked. I mean, you're an NFL player, you're walking down the street, no clothes on, none. So, let me just recap when I went over tonight, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Timing's everything. So. I'm sure there was a time and a place for this guy to run down the street naked. I'm sure there's a time and place when Antonio Brown's antics wouldn't be so blown out of proportion. But again, both those players in particular, let's go to Antonio Brown. He had X amount of time to make X amount of money. Whatever money he left on the table, whatever money he left with the Raiders, whatever money he owes back to the Steelers, whatever money he made with the Patriots, whatever money... He had X amount of time to make X amount of money. And then it's over. He was in a game where he could have made some more money, if got some incentives. It didn't seem to matter to him. He was hurt. They kicked him out. He left. Maybe he'll get another shot. Maybe. I don't know. What we can look forward to from Antonio Brown is more horrible music. That's what we can look forward to. More terrible music. At the last, his last song, the pit to the palace, is his newest song. I guess he released it the day he quit football. That's actually not as bad as his first album. Okay, like Antonio Brown rap career, season 1 was probably no. for sure, the worst music I've ever heard. And I don't even want to disrespect my own show and play that shit, but it's bad. Bad, 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 bad. Hopefully, he's in year 2. He's not a rookie in the rap game anymore. He's got a little better feel of how to maybe rhyme some words. Maybe, I don't know. I grew up in the 80s. I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up when hip hop was, just taking over the world, just beginning to take over the world. I've seen hip hop from I started listening to hip hop at, how old was I? 6, 1983, some shit like that. Started buying rap albums back then. So I've seen the whole spectrum. I've seen rap go from this negative thing to this. Actually, it was a fun thing at first, and then it became gangster. Then everyone said, "Oh, it's because of the music," and then it was all this other shit. And then around 2000, the year 2000, it just took a left turn into Shitsville, right? And then you've had some okay stuff ever since then, but Antonio Brown just made the rap game worse when I don't even know if he dropped the first album, because if you have your hands on his first album, you should probably drop that on into the trash, because that's what it is. So that's what we get to look forward from him. Coach Preston, I'm looking for a coaching job, man. All right, Barry. All right, Barry. Let me find your question, man. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Shout out to my man Terry Dixon. See, Terry Dixon was an offensive lineman at West Virginia, but Terry Dixon was like 300. He was like 300. He was like double 300 pounds. He wasn't just like one. Half of him was 300 pounds. He could move. He could move pretty good, but not like these guys. Not these guys today. That's my man, though. Sure, coming about the field judge to run 30 yards to spot the ball instead of the shit in the line. Oh, okay. NFL rule committee. Okay, I don't know shit about the fucking referees, right? All I know is there used to be a middle judge that I would almost run into all the time, and now he's gone. I'm like, why didn't they move him? Why did they take so long to adapt? What the fuck, man? Like, I almost ranked this ref, that middle ref that used to be right in the middle of the field. I used to almost run into him all the time. Like, I'd have to fake him out. He'd be like faking me out. I wasn't faking each other out. There was one play, me and the ref were like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You going this way? You going that way? You better move before we both get tackled. They should at least put a helmet and some shoulder pads on these old ass refs. Why are these refs like 100 years old anyway? They should give them some pads, so if they get hit, they don't get fucked up too bad. But I'm watching this Cowboy game now. It's about 5 minutes left in the game. I didn't see this game live, so this is the first time I'm seeing it. Was it Tuesday? I'm seeing it now on Tuesday, and I heard about it. I heard that what's his name was running with the ball, and they didn't spot the ball in time, and then the game was over, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" So it sucks to lose a game like that when you're spotting the ball in the last couple seconds, and it's because of some bullshit like that. Same thing happened with the Steelers with what's his name this year. Doing that extra first down move instead of hurrying up and moving the ball. But, my conspiracy side would say that whoever was spotting the ball didn't want the Cowboys to win. That's just my conspiracy side. I like conspiracies. You know why? Because they're fun. But as far as having that ref run over at 30 yards to spot the ball when the game, like, does he run a 4-3? Like, how much time was on the clock for him to get to the line from 30 yards out? Like, how fast is he? He's got to be fast if he's going to do that. How much time was left? I don't know. So, I don't know about that stuff. Whatever. I guess if I was a Cowboy fan, I'd be more upset. And I understand where you're coming from with your concern about that. But, I don't know anything about that. I'm a player, a former player, and a coach. And the referee situation. First of all, like, there are no refs. I don't see, like, on any given play, there's like not a ref in the picture, right? The guys in the back, everyone's out the way, which they should be out the fucking way. So I don't think they should move them up. I think they should have one of the closer guys spot the ball. So I agree with you on that. AB's got money. He was on the podcast acting like Tom needs him. Tom was one of the best of all time. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows Tom Brady is the GOAT. There's actually no disputing in that. There's the only thing I've heard about Tom Brady is that people will be like, "Oh, he's so cocky," or like, "But you don't know him. You do not even know him at all." And no one that knows him has ever said Tom Brady's cocky. Confident is one thing, but like, you know, LaShawn McCoy was on I Am Athlete podcast, and LaShawn McCoy was a teammate of Tom Brady's, and he said, and he's been around the league for a long time, he was like, Tom Brady is the greatest leader ever. He said he's the greatest ever. I'll take his word for it. He's the greatest. Now, from Antonio Brown's perspective, right? Antonio Brown's the receiver. Tom Brady's the quarterback. Tom Brady does need Antonio Brown. Does he only need Antonio Brown? Obviously not. There's other guys that can step up. But there's no questioning Antonio Brown's field ability, and there's no question about Tom Brady's status of GOAT status. Do they need each other? Yes. Did it work when they were together? Yes. Now, the coach told Antonio Brown to leave, so he did. So that's that. Now you get to look forward to rap music from Antonio Brown. I hope Tom Brady does not get on a track. Please. Please. Did you hear the Rock song? The Rock has a rap song now. You know, it's kind of weird when you hear when as a rapper, you're not supposed to sound like you do normally. You're supposed to have a little bit of some different edge to your voice. You know why? Because all the rappers hold the mic like this. You know what I'm saying? So first of all, you don't even look like yourself when you're performing, because everyone's got the microphone up here, so you can't even tell who this is. You're like, who's that? Is that Mos Def? Who's got the mic? Is that Jeff Goldblum rapping? What's going on? So you can't even tell. First of all, right? So I think you should have a little extra something in your voice. And plus, the guys don't even rap anymore. They mumble, and they don't really rhyme words. And it used to be an art form, and now it's just a shit show. So just please, Tom Brady, do not get on Antonio Brown's rap track. Don't need that at all. Whew. Well, anybody else got any questions? See, I'm not a fan of any team. Like when Emmett was playing, I liked the Cowboys. When Barry was playing, I wanted Barry to do well. When my cousin Ryan Grant was playing, I liked the Packers. But I like players. I don't understand the team thing. I just don't understand it. Actually, I do. You know why? Because the one team that I actually do like is Notre Dame. I've liked them since I was a kid, and I still like Notre Dame. So I guess you can I consider myself a Notre Dame fan. Even though the teams change and the players change, I still like their uniform. And so, okay, I get that. It's all about the uniforms for me. Oregon is dope as hell. Uniforms are dope as hell. These NFL guys, they've had the same uniforms for 30, 40, 50 years. I think it's time they switched up. I think it's time in 2022, these guys update their uniforms. Like the Giants, they've had that uniform. Like Y.A. Tittle wore that uniform. Some of you guys don't even know who Y.A. Tittle is. Do I need to pull out a book from like 75 seasons? Like, some of these guys still have this uniform, man. Come on, man. Here, I'm watching the Niners right now, and the same uniform. I like the fact that these guys can wear different socks. I don't know what the rule is. I don't know. I have no idea what the rule is. I've asked a couple guys, they just don't hit me back. So I don't know what's going on with the uniforms, with the socks. Like I don't know if they get. They used to get fined. You know, they all used to wear white cleats and have to wear pro socks, and they don't do that anymore. Some guys wear fucking banana shoes or fucking whatever else. You know, they wear all kinds of wild shit now. Very small shoulder pads, no hip pads, no tailbone pad. Not in the NFL. But like the uniform, like if you look at these guys are like super lean. Like they look super fast and like, oh man, I don't know. But anyway, let me get back to this uniform. Like the Steelers, like goddamn, like how old? Like this is the uniform from 1972. The Rams, change, like switch your shit up, like update it. Like remember. I don't. Older guys, older people. Remember when you used to think towards the future? When you used to be like, oh, in the year 2000, it's gonna be crazy, like flying cars and all this shit, right? You used to think this futuristic future we're gonna live in, right? So like, why don't the owners of these teams think the same way? Why don't they think of how they can make these look more futuristic, more 2000, more like, you know, instead of just the same old uniform. 50 years in a row, 75 years in a row. What's that book say? 75 years? 85, 100 years in a row. Same uniform. They switched that. I mean, like a real update, man. I saw the Rams did that, but like a real update. So I like it when they switch it up. I like when the Giants will throw back to their uniform from the 80s. See, that's the thing. That's what I mean. Like you can always throw back to these classic uniforms. You can update your shit now, have like an updated version, but you can always throw back to the old one. And then you can throw back to even older ones. So I'm just saying, like, mix it up a little bit. Get some more variety out there, man. That's all I'm saying. Okay, we're getting towards the end. Hold on, I think I'm gonna do this live to the end of this game here, because we're getting close to the end, and you know what? We might as well just go into theater mode right here, because we got about 2 minutes left in this game, and I didn't even see this game. So let's see what we got here. Let's see.
Not quite able to make a play on it. This is the 2-minute warning at 1:56.
Okay, commercial break, so we'll come back. We'll come back to that. Man. Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Get 2.49% APR financing on the 2022 DX460.
I'm live on Instagram and Facebook. That's why I got to use 2 devices here. Oh, I should have got going live on YouTube too, but I forgot. Tomorrow, going live on all 3. Let's see. What else? That's a good question, Shanae, because I think about that often. If I could do it all over again, what would I do different? Okay, I'll tell you exactly what I would do different. I would have invested, I don't know how, but I would have invested more time in mentorship. When I was coming out of high school, I only knew one other D1 player who was from my neighborhood, who I was close to, and his name was Keith Bullock. And Keith played in the NFL for at least 10 years. And he gave me some solid advice coming out of high school, but like I needed like some real mentorship. Jay Brooks, what's up, son? I was just talking about you the other day. I was just telling my friend about you the other day. We had a good laugh too. Because whenever I think of Jay Brooks, I just bust out laughing. You know, I just fucking start cracking up. See, I can't not laugh when I think of Jay Brooks. I guess when people think of you and they just start cracking up, I guess that's a good thing. Because when I can mention the name Jay Brooks to anybody that knows Jay Brooks, and we all just bust out laughing with like 90 stories that we can rattle off the top of the head. What was I talking about before that? If I could do it over again, I would have really made sure I had some good mentorship, some people in my corner, so to guide me properly. And kind of like how I was to my cousin. I was 4 years older than him, and he got to come to West Virginia when I was in college, when he was on his spring break, and he would stay with me for the whole week, and he would live a college lifestyle before he got to college. So when he got to college, he was a little more mature than the other guys that were just getting there. So he kind of knew the ropes already. So if I would have had something like that, I would have invested in some Ryan. Yeah, I would have had some more. I would have invested in some more mentorship. But also, what I really would have done, like this is on my own, I would have. I'll tell you what exactly. I would have. Can't move. I would have. I started reading this book. When I was in 7th grade, I started bodybuilding. I started like lifting weights in 7th grade, right? So I'd look at all these exercises. I look at the biceps and the fucking triceps and fucking traps and back and how to develop all those muscles. All those muscles I learned how to work. All the muscles. But I skipped the nutrition part. I would try to read it, but I didn't have the attention span. And I just kind of got some basic ideas. I was like, oh, okay, if I just eat some oatmeal and then have some shakes and if I eat like this, I'll be all right. But I wish I would have studied the nutrition better and knew exactly how many calories I needed to get bigger, to get to the size I needed to be, because of the fact that when I got to college, the guys were bigger than they are today. They were bigger. They weren't as fast and as athletic overall, but like Amos Zerowick, anyone that knows Amos knows how fucking big he was, right? And he had huge arms, and he wasn't that tall. He was like 5. He was shorter than I was, and he was like huge. He was like one of these guys. Amos Zerowick was big as hell. Like the guys we played when I was at Notre Dame, the guys we played against, fucking huge. Cedric Irvin was a big dude. Kevin Falk was not a big dude. Who else is big running back? TJ Duckett was a big dude. You know who else is big that didn't seem like they were that big? Charles Woodson was kind of big, like on up close. Like his legs were, I was like, damn. So I would have like tried to get bigger. Now, that's kind of weird for me to be saying that, because a lot of kids these days, Quincy, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about Quincy like 2 days ago. I was talking about how Quincy, shout out to my man Quincy Wilson, who's right up there in that, where's that picture? Right up there. Right in that picture up there. Right in the middle. Shout out to Quincy. Just got the head coaching job at Fort Lauderdale State. He told me many years ago that he wanted to be a coach. And he's moved his way up through the ranks, and now he's the head coach, and that's tremendous. And shout out to him. But Quincy was like he's a genetically modified football player. So again, not only do you have to have in the power, like to have the right mentorship, right, to tell you what to do, right, but like what also helps is if you have genetic NFL DNA in your family. That also helps. So Quincy's dad played for the Bears, and Quincy's nowhere near as big as his dad, but it looks like someone took Quincy's dad and shrunk him down, or just mashed him up, because that's what Quincy looks like. If I could show a picture right now, I'd show it. But like Quincy, like everything I have, all the musculature that I have is all built from years of lifting. Quincy has extra stuff that aren't in any of these books on anatomy in his legs. There's others. It's like what is that? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is hanging off your leg there. Your legs are like, I could squat like 400 pounds all the way down. Good technique. He would squat 400 pounds, bad technique, but still be strong enough to do it. So it wasn't really, he had like natural fucking genetic mutated football player strength. He was just like, just a fucking freak like that. You know what? Real quick, if I can, I just want to show this one run I just want to show this one run. When Quincy was in high school. Because when he was in high school, when I saw his high school tape, I was like, this is fucking ridiculous and disgusting. Because Quincy was like the size, almost the same size he is now, almost 5'10", 205 in high school. And the kids he's playing against were like 5'8", 150, 5'6", 170, some shit like, like normal high school kids. And Quincy was like this mutant. I'm telling you, mutant. GMO, NFL GMO, mutated man. That's what he is. A lot of these guys are NFL GMO, genetically modified NFL players. I just want to show you this one run, which is so ridiculous. And this dude's whole high school film looked like that. It was just like, it's really like you're just like, this is ridiculous. This isn't even fair. Like, you should be banned from playing high school football in West Virginia because you're going to hurt somebody. There was one kid that tried to tackle him, like one normal sized kid that tried to tackle him. Yo, it honestly, it looked like Quincy ate him. It looked like he just devoured. And Quincy eats very fast, by the way. There used to be a hot dog man outside the club. We'd go get the hot dogs, go get a couple of hot dogs. I'd have two, he'd have two. We'd walk across the street. I'd be done with one, he'd be done with both. That happened all the time. I was like, how? Does that go right to your legs? I had normal athletic sized legs, and Quincy had like Barry Sanders like legs, like it's like sick. It doesn't make any sense. Well, it makes sense because his dad played in the NFL, and he grew up around the Chicago Bears. And I don't think he lifted that much, but I think he ran a lot. But his whole high school film, I wish he'd put this whole film on YouTube because it's crazy. He ran for 3,000 yards 3,000 yards his senior year. That's like 300 yards a game. That's like almost like Cooper Rigo numbers. I'm just kidding. My numbers weren't like that, but like that's wild shit, man. I wanna find this radio. This is ridiculous. Whole film is like him just running. He did the same thing in college too, but in college it was like even more. All right, I can't find this run when he was in high school, but I'll just skip over to when he gets to college, and this run is just as sick. 2003. I just want to show you one run. Yeah, man. So this guy, just natural, but like Christian McCaffrey is another one that has another one that's genetically modified to play football. His dad played. Clay Matthews is another one. Just like if your dad played and your family's a football, you come from a football family, you're almost like it's in your DNA to play football, man. In my family, my parents aren't even athletes. They're artists. Both my parents are artists. My dad didn't want to play football because he wanted to be a musician. He didn't want to hurt his fingers. And my mother's a, graphic artist. So everything I have was like, I had studied and learned and trained and did all those things. Here it is. Blow! Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
And that
Here we
water
go.
on that field is still down there. It's
Here we go.
slippery.
There was that contact. That might have been a touchdown. Because it
Why'd
looked
this
like
end?
Henry was going to run right by him, and there was no safety.
All right, Instagram ended, but we'll show this on Facebook. There's more people on here anyway.
From Pittsburgh, only about an hour.
All right, here we go.
up the road from
Here we go.
Morgantown.
Here we go. Morgantown, West Virginia. We're playing Virginia Tech. This is 2003. Michael Vick is gone. Rasheed Marshall's the quarterback for West Virginia. Quincy's the tailback here. I can't get this thing in focus, but just watch the power on this dude. First play of the game. This is the first running play of the game. Here's Quincy. Blow! Did you hear that? You hear them? You hear them like, woo-wee. They're laughing. They're out there laughing. Say it again. Say something. They were just like, holy shit.
Pittsburgh. Well, they've run more than twice
Holy
as many
shit.
running plays this season as they have pass plays.
Here we go again.
The spread offense.
Blow! God damn.
Looked a lot like that run on
Woo.
screen pass against Miami.
Can you hear it? I don't think you can hear it.
More than twice as many running plays this season as they have pass plays. Work out of the spread offense.
Listen.
And a handoff to Quincy Wilson.
Yo.
Looked a lot like that run on the screen pass against Miami. There's Wilson again, just lowering his head and running over Brandon Manning.
God damn. Now, that dude, he just ran over is a Division I linebacker for Virginia Tech who's not a slouch. Now imagine him doing that same thing to a kid half that size. That was what his high school tape looked like.
Tonight's group with Watson, the junior college transfer, now
Like,
at
just
tackle.
disgusting. It was just like, oh my God. Like, you should not be playing against these kids. Like, it looks like you're playing against 8th graders. And these kids are in high school. But, like, there's just an unfair size and speed advantage with you out here on the field. Like, it's actually dangerous for these poor children that you're running against. Yeah, I know they're trying to tackle you, but, like, they can't tackle you. So, you shouldn't be playing. They should be like, okay, we get it. You should just go do something else for a little while, or you should just skip your senior year and go do something else because someone. I'm sure there's somebody, some people that he played against that like you say that name and they just like, oh, they just get the chills and they just freak out. I'm sure. They're just like, oh shit, don't even mention that name to me. God damn. I want to see if I can find another clip of that run that's clearer. And yeah, this might be it.
29-yard line.
I tell you,
Yeah.
Quincy Wilson runs.
Yo, yeah. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. You guys ready? You guys ready? Here we go.
Is out to the 29-yard
West Virginia's rushing offense. Here we go, Quincy. Blow!
He delivers the blow, but he's not the only guy. KJ Harris has been running for on
I love that.
as well.
I love that.
Here's one, and not much in.
I love that. I love just running over people. I love this. I love it. Boom! I love that.
Is out to the 29-yard
I love it.
I tell you,
Just run these motherfuckers. Bow! Oh, that was like the back of his head hits the ground first.
Is out to the 29-yard.
I know what that feels like. I've had that happen to me.
Quincy Wilson,
Boom! Oh,
but
man.
he's not the only guy. KJ
Oh, man. Man, that's bad. That's dangerous. Dangerous right there. All right. I'm getting out of here. Look for me tomorrow night. Runningback Training Camp Daily Live Show. We're back in action. We're back. And it's a new year. And it's time to take this podcast to another level. It's time to level up. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to level up. Omarion Hampton. Check out Omarion Hampton. Is that what this is? From Cleveland? Is that Cleveland you're trying to say? Omarion, is that some part of, is that like is that a new variant? Is that the Omarion?